Welcome back to Beta Update Day 15, where I keep you updated on what's happening with the Midnight Beta in case you want to stay in the know before Season 1 of Midnight finally comes out. Now, first things first today, ElvUI is officially back. They initially announced that they were not going to be supporting Midnight whatsoever, with the API changes to add-ons being axed. Basically, ElvUI said, hey, look, we can no longer do our thing, so sorry guys, we're out. But now actually ElvUI has come out with a support. This is their official Twitter, and they say, actually, we are going to work on patch 12.0 support. We don't know exactly how the unit frames and nameplates are going to be handled, but effectively the anchors, skins, chat bags, and etc. are already patched, and you can already use them. Now, before ElvUI was out, there was already a few other UI updates that people had made. The difference is that instead of using weak ores to actually alter your UI, you basically just download an add-on through CurseForge. So if you thought add-ons were gone for Midnight, you are incorrect. The first thing you will do every day when you get on World of Warcraft is open CurseForge, and you will update all of the add-ons that you may have. In fact, you might even have even more add-ons than before. So I find these decisions to be kind of entertaining almost in a way, because Blizzard had made a really clear goal that they didn't want any add-ons and weak auras, and I think they realized that maybe that task was a bit too monumental. You have to realize they only have a few months left. But the biggest thing to take away from this is don't doom. We are going to be just fine, and I really think that worst case scenario, we all forget, Blizzard has a ripcord they can pull. So if they're like, hey, look, we had this really good idea, but it's not going to happen. Like, there's no way. Like, we just don't have enough time because the holidays are coming up, so they're going to take 2 weeks off, and the development team shouldn't be working through Christmas and New Year's. So they're going to have time off for that, and there might be a few other things, but basically they only have about 2 months of development time to really get this going before March actually comes around, maybe 3 at the most. The idea is a lot of things need to be done, and if they are going to fail, they will not release the game in an unplayable state. And they can always just say, we're going to do this next season, and just allow us to do our thing. That's kind of what they already have done. They've already walked back a lot of the restrictions that they had initially enforced. So when it comes to UI things, I think the important thing is don't be scared. We've been able to play beta just fine. There's a lot of things that I miss and kind of wish that I had, but ultimately the UI is going to be just fine. Continuing on from that, today I got to test Holy Paladin, which means we are 4 healers down. So real quick, go ahead and look at this. Here we are. This is a log. This one is an Aug Evoker log. I actually got to play Aug for the first time. This was my first Aug Evoker key, and Aug is back. So before we talk about Holy Paladin real quick, Aug is definitely the top DPS. Now, this is not the top DPS. This is my first Aug key. Give me a few more keys to play this. I'll min-max the Apex talent. Aug is basically one of the best DPS on beta. I like playing it. I think it's a very fun spec, but I really hope that it doesn't actually come around, because I don't think it's good for the game. I think that the idea of a support is great, but we all know what happened when Aug was meta. They can't balance this thing. They've already changed it so much. I really think that it should not be in meta contention. It just messes with everything. You can't tell if the Aug is good. You can't tell if your DPS are good or who's the good. Or you can't. There's so many things it's really difficult to play with an Aug. Do I think the spec should be canned? Not necessarily, but I just don't think it should be meta. And right now, you give me 5 more keys, and I will be top DPS in every single key that I am in on an Aug Evoker. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, I wish I could show you logs. Unfortunately, I don't have any. I had zoned out of the dungeon before I could take a screenshot, which was very unfortunate. That stuff happens, as it were. And I wanted to show you it, but I actually couldn't. So that's unfortunate. Here, take a look at my in-game. I'm playing Holy Paladin. This is the 4th healer I've played. I've now played Resto Druid, Resto Shaman, Holy Paladin, and Prez Evoker in all 15s of the dungeons. Not all 15s, but basically most keys. So we're making our way. We have Mistweaver coming out tomorrow. Probably tomorrow I'll go test out my good old trusty Mistweaver. And then somebody on stream can teach me how to play Disc Priest, because I don't know how to play that healer. It's the one healer I've never played before. Holy Paladin damage output was surprisingly good. The more I play the healers, the more I realize that a lot of them can do damage. It's just the very first healer I played was Resto Druid. Resto Druid gives you the impression that your damage almost doesn't matter. You have one single target ability, and otherwise healer damage is really sad. So on beta right now, healers just aren't doing a lot of damage. Holy Paladin felt pretty good. You have uncapped AoE. Your old Shield of Righteous is back. The weird thing is, of course, no Crusader Strike, and so you feel very pruned in your ability to heal. You just don't have a lot going on. As I continue to test it, I do think it would struggle a little bit with pure HPS checks. Like if you put me into a higher Seat of the Triumvirate or a higher Pit of Sauron, then I would do good damage, sure, but I don't think I'm going to be able to match a lot of the HPS checks that are required. As far as I know, Holy Paladin is super bugged. There's a lot of bugged. I think Paladin might be one of the most bug spec'd in generals because Prop Pally is also super bugged. So maybe with that addition, I don't know, I was able to maintain about 100k HPS, which seems to be the border on required amount for what you need to be able to do as a healer on beta. So about 100k HPS, but remember that Resto Druid and some of the other things will do that easily. Now, the last thing I'll say before I end the update for today, and if you like this content, feel free to like and subscribe. I'll be making updates every single day. That is very cool because we have about 50 days left of beta. So by this point, by the time midnight comes out, you're going to be like, wow, I've been able to track everything that's happening. So basically, we are waiting for the next set of notes. We have had bugs on beta since day one, and we've been waiting for the updates when they say, hey, we know these bugs exist. Why don't you actually, we were just going to fix that one value so it goes from 0% to 5% or something like that. We're waiting for it. It was supposed to come out today. It hasn't. Hopefully by the time I log in tomorrow, there will have been some new beta build that actually addresses some of this. I don't know if we get to test out any of the new dungeons. I have a feeling we do not. We only have 4 dungeons available, and I don't think they're going to put the new ones in the rotation. I honestly don't mind playing the next 4 dungeons because I've been playing every single spec on beta. We've made our way through quite a bit. Every single one of these characters has done a 15 on variety of specs. We've played Bear Druid, Resto Druid, etc., etc. Warrior is still basically unplayable. Paladin is super bugged, but the Holy Paladin was actually pretty fun today. I'm not going to lie. I actually liked the new Holy Paladin. It was simple. Maybe a bit too simple, of course, but felt really good. Same issue as Resto Shaman, which is when there are consistent healing checks, it kind of struggles because it only has X amount of buttons, whereas something like a Resto Druid just pumps continuously and prez. That's not a tuning issue. That's an actual spec issue, so hopefully they address that. But continuing on the update for tomorrow, that is all for today. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll continue updating. So I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.